Come and sit down. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you
Good.
for having me here.
You've had a look around?
Yes.
At
Nice turnout.
At the stands? Impressed?
Very impressed, as
Yeah.
always. I wouldn't expect anything less from the Future Minerals Forum.
Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. It really is very impressive. And I've actually had a chance to wander around as well. And the sort of, these sort of diversity of turnout and opportunity here is remarkable. So Mabruk to the entire team. We're talking minerals diplomacy. While the kingdom didn't coin the phrase, it is aggressively, I would say, championing and popularizing the term minerals diplomacy, turning geology into geopolitical leverage. Not unfamiliar, of course, to the kingdom, given the history of Saudi oil diplomacy. There are few, ladies and gentlemen and excellencies, who know diplomacy better than you, Your Excellency. Can you just lay out how supplier countries can best navigate this intense global competition for critical minerals? I just want to get your sort of starter for 10.
Do you have a week for me to do this?
I don't.
Let me start with the big picture. I think, thank you. Let me start with the broad picture. I believe that the Future Minerals Forum has been instrumental in bringing the world together to talk and to discuss about the challenges that we face, the opportunities that are in front of us, and to understand what it is we need in order to realize the maximum benefit for both producers as well as users, as well as those in between on this value chain. The fact that you have more than 100 countries represented here, the fact that you have a dialogue going on between countries of origin and countries that use it, between companies, between NGOs, by itself is almost like having a United Nations discussion. That is diplomacy in action. We learn from each other, we learn what is important, we learn what the priorities are of countries, what the priorities are of consumers, what the priorities are of countries of origin, and we come up with ways to navigate through those. And we've seen this yesterday at the Ministerial Roundtable, where at the Future Minerals Forum, the concept of creating 7 infrastructure pathways, logistical channels in Africa and in South America, looking at other parts of the world. How can we tie the world together? How can we most efficiently produce minerals, transport them, process them, and get them to the end user? At the same time, how can we produce it in a sustainable way, in a responsible way, in a way that provides the greatest benefits to the countries of origin, as well as provides a return on investment for investors, as well as provides a supply of critical minerals to the user. So we're seeing diplomacy in action. And
Yeah,
we're seeing the world
this
getting
is
together.
international power and sort of, economic sort of opportunity writ large, isn't it? And you're right, initiatives like this and major deals and alliances forged with the US and other global partners that we are seeing emerge. This really is international relations and economic power writ large. The consequences of this competition for access to the Earth's resources can be very positive, and you've just laid out how that can be: strategic alliances, initiatives, economic empowerment, and the rest, sustainability. It is also causing significant tension at a time when the world, frankly, doesn't need it. So the sort of positive benefits of minerals diplomacy, I think, couldn't be more important as we enter 2026. I just wonder at this point, given that context, where we are headed in 2026, your sort of optimistic view and your perhaps more pessimistic view, if you will.
I was born an optimist, so I don't have any pessimistic views. From an optimistic perspective, I think we're moving towards interdependence. And I think we see it in the minerals area. There is a sense, and a lot of it emerged from the Future Minerals Forum over the past few years, where the old ways of doing things have to be changed. The perception was that foreign companies come in, mine, exploit, take all the value outside of the country and leave the host country with nothing but a big hole on its territory. That has to change. The view right now is, or the new view is, we need to invest. We need to provide the associated industries in country. We need to refine process in country. We need to keep as much of the value chain as we can in country so that we produce jobs, we produce opportunity, which in turn produces stability, which in turn helps all of us around the world. That's one. Number two, I believe that creating these infrastructure, mineral corridors and logistics corridors and creating this interdependence is not dissimilar from what happened in Europe when Europe created this coal and steel community between France and Germany. It led to integration. And integration leads to reducing conflict because all parties have a stake in stability. So as an optimist, I would say that as the world moves towards more connectivity and more integration, it will move towards less conflict because everybody benefits from the system working and everybody loses if the system doesn't.
That integration is different from sort of strong-armed intervention. And I have to bring up the US action in Venezuela because Saudi Arabia and Venezuela share deep ties through OPEC. What's the kingdom's position on what was a forced takeover? And are you concerned that the US intention to control that supply reshapes OPEC's internal dynamics? Because as we look at a world sort of fraught with geopolitical tension, I think it's important that we address that issue.
I think we're talking about minerals here.
Well, we're talking about energy.
Yes, and when it comes to energy, we always believe that there has to be balance between supply and demand. We're looking for stability in the markets. We're looking for responsible production of energy, and we're looking for a way to provide this energy to the markets in a way that doesn't create dislocations in terms of price or in terms of the mineral itself. So anything that stability helps, instability does not help.
Right, and I'm going to just pursue this line of instability because we are talking tension. So forgive me, but I do want to get your take on what's happening in Iran. Thousands dead. Donald Trump has said help is on the way. He's warning of, quote, very strong action. Diplomacy, your world, talks off the table. It's not clear what his next move will be. Military action, clearly an option. Do you expect US military action? And is the kingdom telling the US to hold off on Iran strikes?
Well, I would rather not comment on this situation. I think that our view has always been dialogue, trying to resolve issues through peaceful means. Our view has always been to try to find a way out of conflicts because it doesn't... So I will leave it at that.
I do ask just because a couple of months ago, Saudi and Iran did agree to further strengthen relations. And at the time, the kingdom condemned any acts of aggression against the territorial integrity of Iran. I mean, I wonder whether that is still the stated position, if you can answer that question. Because as we talk about minerals diplomacy against this backdrop of tension and instability, you've said instability is not the sort of stated or desired outcome. So I just wonder, this is a regional issue.
We believe in dialogue and we believe in solving any disagreements at the negotiating table. And we believe that instability does not support the prospects for development in any region. And we hope that issues can be resolved in that manner.
And if I push you any further, you're not going to give me another answer on this, are you?
I think we've been very clear on this, yes.
I'm just wondering, with 4 minutes to go, whether it's worth another push. How weak is the regime, and what follows? Should it be toppled? Is the last question to you, and if you can give me a line on that.
It is really up to the Iranian people to decide. I don't think that I'm in a position to tell another country how it should be governed.
But the kingdom is watching the situation very closely at this point, I assume. I
believe everybody is watching the situation very closely, and everybody is hoping that the situation can be resolved in a manner that minimizes any kind of damage.
Because for our international guests here, I just think it's important as we look at this region, and this is a country that has been calling for de-escalation, has been calling for economic integration. We look at the the positive impacts around the region, which have been spearheaded oftentimes from here, Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, this effort to de-escalate will be derailed should we see sort of civil war in Iran. Is there any enthusiasm here or in this region for American military action at this point?
I believe that the region has suffered a lot in terms of conflicts over the past 50, 60 years, in particular over the past 20 years. Whether you look at Syria, whether you look at Lebanon, Gaza, Sudan, Somalia, Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan, in other areas. And the region needs stability, and the people of the region would hope are working towards generating that stability so that we can focus on development and nation building rather than conflict. So anytime we have an opportunity to work on trying to calm things and mediate things, we do this. We've done it in Syria, we've done it in the past in Lebanon. We're working in terms of Gaza with the international community. We're trying to mediate in Sudan and Somalia, in Yemen, in other places between India. And so our objective is stability and calm so that we can focus our resources on building a better future for our people.
Saudi is building itself into being a regional power player when it comes to minerals, not just a regional power player. I mean, you're looking at this as a sort of a global hub for logistics and supply chain management, going forward and into the decades to come. There is competition in this region. Do you see that competition exacerbating an already fractured relationship between, for example, Saudi Arabia and the UAE? And can you expand on that?
I believe that our objective is to work towards a better world and a better future. The reality is we sit between three continents, Asia, Africa, and Europe. The reality is we're surrounded by three of the world's most important waterways, Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandab, Suez Canal. The reality is we have one of the largest reserves of petroleum in the world. The reality is we have huge mineral resources in Saudi Arabia. The reality is that we are in the middle of what is happening in the world. The two holy cities in Islam, Mecca and Medina, are in Saudi Arabia. So 1.8 billion Muslims face Saudi Arabia 5 times a day in prayer. This is a reality that is a fact. And we deal with that reality. So we have an obligation to a stable political system globally, to a stable financial system, to a stable energy system. We have an obligation to try to reduce conflict because that helps improve financial system, economic system, energy system, political system, and helps improve our ability to provide better standards of living for our people. Our objective is and our main focus is our people. We want a better future for our people. And in order to do this, all the things I pointed out have to fall into place. And this is what causes us to play a role. It's not an ambition. It's a reality and a fact that we have to deal with. And our objective is not to seek more territory or more people or more minerals or more. Our objective is to seek a better world where we can unleash the potential of our people, especially our young people, so that we can elevate the standard of living for us and for the region around us.
And Your Excellency, I'm going to close this out with a reminder that you also wear a climate hat in your sort of myriad of roles. Can you just briefly give me 30 seconds on how important sustainability is as you develop this sort of minerals diplomacy and Saudi, sort of the kingdom's kind of leadership when it comes to critical minerals?
It's very important. We have to ensure that we believe that you can mine without disrupting the environment. We believe that you can mine without disrupting societies. We believe that there is a responsibility that the world does not repeat the mistakes that were made in the past, not by us, where people exploited children, where people exploited people, where people exploited countries. We have to make sure that whatever is being done, whatever is being invested is done in a responsible manner, both financially, both socially, and both environmentally. And we believe that it can be done. And what we've seen in the discussions of the Future Minerals Forum over the past few years, since its inception actually, is that there is an international consensus, and there are ideas, and there are initiatives, and there are ways to ensure that this is done in a way that is of benefit to everybody.
His Excellency Al-Jubeir, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
You are always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.